One of the topics that I have a lot of passion for talking about and that I speak about frequently is the the gender spectrum. And I know that as one of my teachers in college told me, well, those are your words. And that's not really something that's accepted yet. And while I can understand that, it's kind of like one of those things that to me, whether someone is accepting of it or not, it's still existing. And, it may be, I think, where a lot of people will actually experience this kind of issue in life is when they're growing up and with their parents, where their parents want to believe that something is a certain way and they'll tell you that, but you can see that it's not like that, or maybe it's not like that anymore. And so you try to get that idea across, but your parents are just kind of stuck in the way that they've grown up and that they've thought about that or that they've experienced it before the change happened. And this is actually something similar where before we really were not understanding, or maybe we weren't in a place of really advancement or evolution enough to recognize as we are now. And it's something that maybe is occurring because of our wonderful and exponential growth, our amazing technological growth, our availability of accessing larger amounts of information than ever before in the history, in our known history. And so it only stands to reason that evolution and progression are going to happen. And so as a species, I think it helps us, it gives us a forward movement rather than a backward movement to recognize that something different is happening and to actually accept that and work with it and move on from it in a creative way. And because we actually have the cognitive skills and abilities at this point to understand how to actually move forward and how to actually take something that we have and make something amazing out of it. So once we begin to actually accept that this is a reality, that there is an actual spectrum which relates to gender, and that it's really not a black and white issue, uh, anymore. If it ever was really, or maybe it just really was that a lot of it was repressed, or that people couldn't even acknowledge within themselves that they wanted to change something about how people saw that. I know in my own experience, um, I was just taught that it was a very black and white issue, and that any thinking outside of that was wrong and was going to send you into a spiritually difficult and challenging place, and that you may never get out of. So that was a pretty daunting concept to me when I was growing up, and so my my difficulty, my inability to even try and think outside of that was because it was scary. So if you can imagine previous generations of people having to evolve through even being able to, within your own self, allow yourself to think about who you really are and what you really want and where you fit in this line. My own experiences, I don't label myself necessarily, but as far as whenever I take a test of personality or a test of gender or a test of where your brain is or anything like that, I fall pretty much smack dab in the middle of everywhere. And that's really how I see myself. And I don't really feel like anyone needs to accept that about me, but the fact is that it is a reality. And that is actually a reality also for so many other people where, they may fall, here in a spectrum and everyone's expecting them to fall over here and they don't know how to align with their true personality and how to live up to the expectations of society at the same time. So this is where we all together we can work together to actually begin to understand. And I think the discussion around different language, while it has been a little volatile, with some people just really not understanding why we need to create vocabulary for this spectrum. Um, but it's very important to do that because it shows that we're evolving. It shows that we're taking the time to open up the discussion and to actually notice this, this new vision of what we have as a human race. And it's actually very beautiful, and it has a lot of creative potential in it, um, for just such a variety of relationships and such a variety of new ideas and new paradigms and new ways of living and being as a culture, and as a people. And I think that it also really touches on the divisive nature of the other kinds of divisions that we still have aggregated in our society. So um, it's just something very special to me to look at and to think about accepting. I was in the midst of a couple of really amazing women today who are at different points along that spectrum, as well as myself. And, we easily laugh and joke about where we are on that, because it's real to us. It's real to our existence, where we have found ourselves to be, and the surprises along the way, and how other people have reacted to us. And for someone else to deny that that's a reality is fine. It may not be a reality for them, but it is an actual reality that people are experiencing. So it's definitely something to ponder, something to think about. If you want to have more discussion around this, I welcome it, and I welcome talking about different experiences. I don't invite any negative discussion because that's not really what this channel is about. But if you want to bring in some positive critical thinking or some different questions that you might have, I definitely encourage you to post some comments below and to hit like or share this discussion if you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again next time with something else that I'm thinking about. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.